Yo, what up? This is Headkrack, and you check it in on Hip Hop United.
Okay, welcome to Hip Hop United, where we talk music, life, culture, and everything in between. This is not an interview. This is just a conversation between me and my brother. I love him dearly. You know him as Headkrack. I know him as my brother. But other people, they see him on This Nation. They see him doing music, which we're going to talk about his album right here. They see him out in the streets hosting different things. They see him being a father and so much more. But today, we're going to focus on MikroDose with this man that has spent the summer chilling, manifesting his next million. What's up, bro?
Yo, when the Twin Powers activate, you know what I mean?
That's what I'm talking about.
Good to see you, my man.
I'm glad that you are here. So last time you and I chatted in terms of on a platform, we were talking about Action Park, and that was also another amazing album. But now we got MikroDose, which is a whole different chapter, something you recently released. I had an opportunity to go to the opening of it, the release. In fact, shout out to Making It for Indies.
Making It for Indies. Big up to them.
Shout out for Making It for Indies. So tell me about your mind state when you kind of went into this and why you even named it MikroDose. And shout out to you for that intro where you actually got, you know, the person to say that found someone to say MikroDose in terms of that is whatever. You guys got to definitely check out the intro. But anyway, tell me kind of how this came together, why you decided to do it, and why you named it MikroDose.
So during the time I was curating and crafting all of these various records that ended up making the project, I was just in a tailspin, you know, personally, professionally, and even where the world was at during that time, because you got to think, like when I really started working on some of these records for MikroDose, we're talking like 2020, 2021. Pandemic time, everybody locked down, freedoms is looking different. We've never been on punishment as a society and told we couldn't go outside. And then also, you know, I took on this new job, you know, doing my, and I say this in air quotes, my own morning show. And there was a lot of headaches that came with that because there was a lot of micromanagement, suckers behind the scenes, and just a lot of like politics, right? And I kind of knew what it was very early on, but I'm a chess player. So I'm used to being in difficult rooms, having to know that, oh, that person's supposed to be on your team, but they're not really on your team. But, you know, I peep the energy. It is what it is. I'm going to move how I move. But, you know, you got to do that every day. Yeah. And after a while, it gets taxing. And I'm still getting over the loss of my mom. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? I have children who are in various grades and ages. And, you know, so still having to wear the dad hat, do that component, and still move my career ball forward and serve the people at the same time. So my energy is spent. That's a lot. You know, so during that time, even right before I started to do my own morning show, I was seeking, because I listened to a lot of podcasts, and one of the ones I was listening to at the time was Mike Tyson's Hot Boxing with Mike Tyson podcast.
We talked about it.
Yeah, and he was always talking about the Toad. And I'm like, whoa, this dude was like on cocaine and like really spiraling out of control. And he did this thing called the Toad, and it turned him, because you're a Marvel person just like myself, it turned him from Green Hulk to Gray Hulk. You still a Hulk, but you're smarter now. You've lived through some things. And it's like, yo, I need that type of experience in my life. However, I live in Atlanta, and I don't trust anybody who says they have anything. You know what I mean? I'm not going to buy no Toad off nobody off Edgewood.
I wouldn't.
So I started to try to like see, okay, cool. What can I do that's along those lines? And then eventually, you know, because the universe will always give you what you're looking for if you're intense, right? So I found somebody who, like, yo, I know the shaman and they're doing a ayahuasca retreat in a couple weeks, like reach out. I reached out, but because of the pandemic, it didn't happen. It got canceled. Mm-hmm. So sometime in the middle of the pandemic, they started doing the retreats again, and I finally went. And that first ayahuasca retreat changed my life. It changed the way I view the world. It changed the way I deal with people, and it changed the way I deal with things that I don't have to deal with. Mm-hmm. Because a lot of times I think we serve masters that no longer serve us, whether that's a place of employment, whether that's a bad relationship, whether that's a vice. So it instantly was like, hey, this is how this all works. Your mom is gone, but she's good. Your grandmother's gone, but she's good. And this is what it felt like when Biggie died. Don't ask me about the last one. I just cared and I wanted to know. Because like because when you do your retreats or your ayahuasca experience, everybody's experience is different.
Right.
And mine's gave me specifically what I was asking for. And I was like, all right, cool. What's up with this current situation I'm dealing with? And it's like, hey, deal with it to a certain point. Then you have to let it go. You've done all you can do. And I'm like, okay. Then months later, maybe 6 months, 7 months, I went back for another retreat. It's like, are you sure? You sure I'm done here? You sure, like, I can't fix these people and, like, you know, get them on my side and da-da-da-da? I'm like, nah, you don't need to be there no more. I'm like, are you sure? Yeah, I went to altogether 4 retreats, 11 ceremonies.
Searching for that answer.
Getting the same answer almost every time. Mm-hmm. But answers to other things in real time. And that's the crazy thing about ayahuasca. It will give you what you're supposed to get. Because everybody's needs are different. There were some people who were going because they had PTSD or they was like had addiction issues, that things they're trying to get off. I was trying to get over the loss of my mother and just fortify my mental to have to deal with and take on the energies of people. Right. Because like some people show up to do a job and they do the job and then they go home, but I care about the jobs I do because I'm an empath. So I could be fine, but if something's wrong with you, I feel it.
Right.
And to carry that cross, to carry that burden is heavy. So I just wanted to strengthen myself spiritually and mentally, and it helped me. It helped me. And the hardest thing to do is walk away from a lot of money. But it's only hard if you serve money. Like, don't chase money, chase the opportunities. Right. Chase the opportunities that will bring you that abundance that you're looking for. So I was like, yo, this really helped me. How can I take all of these experiences and turn it into, have my music reflect that? Because I can't be going through all these things in real time and go rap about just surface level stuff that ain't telling you where I'm at this point in my life. Right. Because Action Park was a collection of stories and adventures that I had all through my life. It still wasn't real time adventures. It was like, yo, so back when I was a teenager, this is what we used to do. You know, like, yo, back when I was single, this is how I was moving. You know, that sort of energy. So I wanted to hold up a mirror to who I was at this time. And that's what a lot of the records for MikroDose was. Violence came from when I was getting ready to fight Kimbo Slice Jr. And this is the mode I'm in right now.
Hyping you up. And that was a fantastic event. I got a chance to see you accomplish a goal that you were looking to accomplish, as well as see you do some damage to your soundtrack.
Yo, man, thank you so much, man. Like, because it's crazy, because boxing is a maniac sport, and you really kind of got to talk yourself into it. Because even when you look at Mike Tyson's interviews, right, he was like, yo, the whole entire time I was fighting, even in the 80s, I was scared. And a lot of it is the psychology of it all. You know what I mean? Like, a lot of people lose fights or lose opportunities when they walk in the door because they're not confident. Mm-hmm. So violence was a way of me pepping myself up in real time and just getting that energy, let you know, like, nah, like, I smile on camera because I don't want to mess up the money, but yo, this is really like my dark thoughts. This is what I deal with, you know, the battle against myself. And that's what violence is about. And it was a great walk into the ring song.
It was, and it was kind of the first single, as well as kind of when you started talking about, hey, MikroDose is coming and you're doing some things. And with all your albums, you know, from Action Park and of course MikroDose, it's always very well curated. It's always very well put together. You know, it seems like you really take your time in terms of your collaborators, from, you know, Lauren on Tunnel Vision, you know, to A1 Crashing, doing the hook on, you know, Trouble Don't Last Always, and of course Zaytoven with the production with that, and then of course Kiva, who did her thing on Rise. How do you kind of choose your collaborators? How does that kind of come together for you? Because you always do a great job and it always comes out really well. So kind of what's your process around that?
Yo, really, God chooses these people for me. He really does. And I can't even say he when I say God, because like, based on my experiences, God is not a he or a she, but God chooses everything for me. I didn't even seek out Kiva. Kiva found me, and because like when I first moved to Atlanta, she like was like telling me like, hey, if you want to like find like events, go here, go there. And then I found out that she could sing too. So I feel like Kiva is a good luck charm that I add to as many things as I can because I feel like she's a mermaid. You know what I mean? Like you used to hear those stories like the sailors be on the boats and then the mermaids start singing and they crash into the rocks because the song was so beautiful. I love the tonality of her voice and I will throw her anything I possibly can because the universe gave it to me and it's like, yo, utilize this person who I want to see excel as well. I feel like Kiva should have SZA's career. Not saying to cancel SZA out, but like I would love to see Kiva be as successful as SZA, so I'll always utilize her. As far as A1 crashing, that was just luck. There was a homie of mine who I had in LA who he's like, yo, I know these producers. Come to their studio, go check them out. And that's how I met these guys, the local astronauts. Shout out to Polly Robin by Drew. And our very first session was Save Her Life off of Action Park. And I was about to go there and do a completely different record. And real producers will be like, bruh, why are you so loud on this song? Listen to the beat. Calm down. How would you talk to somebody like, if you was like, trying to like finesse them or talk to them a certain way? And I'm like, damn, you're right. And it changed the trajectory of that record and we locked in. Working with them also helped make me a better artist. And then one of the artists they was working with was A1 Crashing, where when Zaytoven gave me the beat for the song, I just knew he would be great for the hook because he's another person who's just so talented and is so capable of doing so many things. Lauren Rich, she's an artist that works with D Cross, who another person that like, yo, God gave me. And I think we cousins actually in real life. I think we really are cousins. Like by marriage, like his stepdad is a Ruffin too. So anyway, so I ended up meeting D Cross when I was mixing records for Action Park, and somebody's like, yo, you should try this engineer. He's really good. And I sent him a bunch of records, and one day he sent me a beat. And then that beat ended up being Thanks for the Ride off of Action Park, one of my favorite songs that I was able to go into my little therapeutic bag because I was talking about all the people I lost around that time on that record. So so anytime I go to D Cross's crib, he just has a cool collection of people always around. And for Tunnel Vision, Evan Holt, who's also on that song and murked it. Shout out to Evan Holt. He just happened to be there chilling. Like, and because I'm writing my rhyme, the beat's playing. And I was like, yo, you got something for this? Because I saw him like typing or writing something. And he's like, yeah, give me a second, I got you. And then he did his verse, Lauren did the hook, and that record was out of here. And the crazy thing on MikroDose, you're hearing like the 8th version of that song. There's like 7 other versions. All the lyrics are the same, but the beats are different. And there's one where it's like almost like a tribal Congo we rapping over. But this is the stadium status version that, like that's on the current version of MikroDose. So I like that. So I'm trying to think who else did we leave out there. You talked about A1, talked about Lauren.
No, you got the ones I pulled up or whatever. I just wanted to know kind of how you chose them because the collaborations always come together so well. And I love Tunnel Vision. That's one of my. I mean, I love the whole album, but that one just really, really resonated.
That was
me.
a last minute addition because like we had that record in the stash for a minute, and I was like. Because like, so you talked about curation. God bless the dead. My man Garnett Reed is the spiritual Jedi Yoda that helped me curate Action Park. Because when I was putting Action Park together, it was initially called something else. There was way more songs. I was about to damn near hit y'all with a double album, and he saved me from myself. You know what I mean? Like he's like, yo, listen, man, people's attention spans is changing. You gotta kind of present this different. People don't want to think that hard. And I found the right balance with his guidance. And as it related to MikroDose, that's my manager Anna, who
shout out to Anna.
Yeah, yo, big ups to her. Cause like she not only came up with the name MikroDose, she also like I sent her a folder of records and she picked maybe 4 or 5 songs. And then I think I shot one of those songs in her head and then added 2 more songs. And then initially MikroDose was going to be a 6-piece. And then I got to a point where I was like, nah, I need to add a couple more songs just because I have these things I want to say. Because like by the time we're getting to this phase, because like where I'm talking about we had 6 songs, now we're sitting in the middle of 2022. The fight is about to happen. And then the fight happens. Still wrestling with these knuckleheads at work, and then I leave my job. And then, so during that, I wrote Rise after having a little bit of time to reflect. And that's why I say, I spent the summer chilling, manifesting my next million, schematics. And it was really where I was at that moment in my life. And when I'm talking about the devil behind the curtain, snakes behind the curtain,
lurking.
see the devil lurking. Yeah, that's for one of the people that work at the station or work for the company.
I figured as much. I figured as much with that. Now, switching gears a little bit. Obviously, you're on Dish Nation, been there for a minute, doing great things, big things. You just kind of started another segment, Side Dish, with you and Tanner. Tell me about that.
Yo, that is a blessed opportunity, right? That got bigger than itself in real time. It's kind of how when on Jurassic Park, it's like, yo, what if we made some dinosaurs? And then the next thing you know, the dinosaurs break out. That started as a 30-minute show that we was going to do a couple times a week. And then after doing it for a week or two, it's like, hey, how you guys feel about doing an hour? And it's like, yeah, no problem. We're here anyway.
Right.
So we ended up doing an hour, and then it's like, hey, we got commercials now. Because it was doing well. So it went from that to now they put us on Fox Soul. We on Tubi. I think all that free VTV stuff. So it's dope because we produced that show. It's me, Tanner, a young lady named Kim, our engineer Ryan, who be in the back throwing the assets up, and our guy Lee and our guy D, who helps us with some of the prompter stuff. And no one writes the script for us. Me and Tanner go in there, bare knuckles, and just do it, win or lose. Because the beauty of Dish Nation is if I say something crazy that's cancelable, the editors will protect me. With Side Dish, there's some times where I'm like, we can. Let's see what happens. You know what I'm saying?
Going raw.
Yeah, we just go for it. I think we said midget 7 times on an episode the other day, and I know that's not that's not racist.
Not PC, right?
It's not PC, but we didn't understand it when someone was saying little person or what are you talking? A child or midget? Because when you say little person, I am confused.
Yeah.
Somebody was talking about one of those P. Diddy freak-offs, and it was like there were little people there. And I'm like, well, how little are these people? What are we talking about? Midgets?
Are we talking underage or are we talking midgets?
Yeah,
right.
I need the clarity,
Right.
And the crazy thing about that M word, and I mean no offense to
Absolutely.
any of the people who are table height.
Yeah.
It's we cannot tell people to be appalled or not be appalled by things that they find appalling.
Right.
Because I feel when people was calling us the N-word, there's probably white people talking about, hey, we don't mean nothing by it.
Yeah.
And even as I say the M-word, I don't mean nothing by it. But if you take offense to it, but I just needed the clarity. You know what I mean?
I feel you.
And I'm going to sit Indian style at some point because I don't believe in crisscross applesauce. I just don't. I'm a relic from the 80s, man. You know what I'm saying? I'm from a certain pocket of time.
Yeah, me and the wife were talking about that the other day. It was just we came up with so many different things in the 80s that we would say, and I'm not going to, run down that list that, especially in the schoolyard, different things we would say to insult each other.
I am there with you.
Yeah, well, today, we would be canceled. We might be arrested.
However, for the people on the other side of the camera that know, that tip their hat, be like, I know what you're talking about. I've called more straight. I've only exclusively call straight people the word that I'm sure that y'all are talking about.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Never used it as a slur to put down a person who was of that lifestyle because in the back of my mind, in a little crumb in the back of my mind, I'm like, man, if you do all that, you're actually kind of tough.
Exactly. Yeah, you know what? I'm not messing with you right now. Another gear switch. How do you feel? And this is, I'm going to ask you this because you're a hip hop head like myself, and obviously, you are a master of ceremonies. See, with you, I don't just say
Thank you,
MC.
brother.
I have to say the whole master of ceremonies because you absolutely control the crowd. Shout out to Rakim. How do you feel about the legends and the architect within hip hop culture starting to take the game and the culture back? And I say that because we've got new releases from MC Light that's dope. We've got Pete Rock and Common that are dope.
Grammy nominated.
LL Cool J, who released an amazing album. The legends are stepping up and not only, making good music, but kind of reclaiming that impact. How do you feel about that?
It's about damn time.
Hell yeah.
I think the whole narrative of that, rap is a young man's game is an industry-made construct because hip hop is so young and new that we're still growing in real time with it. You know what I mean? Like they say hip hop is 50. Some people will tell you it's a little bit older because there's like videos you could pull up from the 30s where people were clearly rapping. But like rapping is one part of the overall hip hop culture. I mean, I don't got to tell you that, right? But I love to see it, especially when artists from our golden era come back out and they sound hungry. They sound focused. To hear this incarnation of MC Lyte, who ain't the same cha-cha-cha MC Lyte.
Not at all.
But now she's telling you different stories about her time in the game and the time in the business. There's wisdom that you can only get from somebody who's been here long enough to spin the block and tell you those stories.
Absolutely.
LL has had some direct hits. He's had some misfires. And to hear this Force album and hear him take his creativity in different... This brother started the album off with a song from the perspective of Chris Dorner, the guy who was shooting at the cops in California. Who's doing... Like, come on. Kodak Black could never. You know what I mean?
Never.
So I think it's important for the OGs to keep showing up for work. And some of them have been doing it. Like Black Thought's been showing up.
Very much.
He's been doing these EPs. Public Enemy, I think it's been like maybe 3-4 years since we got an album from them, but they still show up. They still tour. To see Common and Pete Rock come off the bench and turn in a solid project and get nominated for a Grammy, I think it goes to show that it can be done, but I think we can do one step further. And I don't want to age the culture, but I think there needs to be a adult contemporary hip hop category.
Big facts.
Because I don't feel like, Lil Uzi Vert, well, everybody's saying his new album isn't good. I haven't heard it, but
I haven't heard it yet.
Everything I've been reading is like, this ain't the same Lil Uzi Vert. He's a very unique artist, though. Like,
very much so.
Because I like that EXO tour life, but if you said, hey, go sing it at karaoke, I'm dead.
I got one song, and all my friends are dead. That's all I can remember.
I can make the sounds.
That's about it.
Yeah, but I like it. You know,
great song.
I like
hard.
it.
It goes hard.
I feel like that person shouldn't have to compete with Common.
Right.
We're doing two different things.
Completely different.
McDonald's makes hamburgers, but so does Jackson Hole in New York. These are different hamburgers. These are way different hamburgers.
Right.
They both taste good, but they're different hamburgers, and they should be treated differently. Like that same foldable pizza slice you get from that Uncle Vito's, around the corner from your crib. It's not the same pizza you get from Domino's.
True.
They both slap, but they different things. And I feel like this will give artists a little bit of hope that, you can still cook up and put product out. And I think this also could possibly create a new lane in radio. Because a lot of people that work in radio, and I know I'm saying this in a place that houses radio stations, but a lot of these people are so smart that they're stupid. Like I watched our company screw up the launch of like a throwback channel, and they had all the right parts. They had all the right people on the air, but they were playing the same 7 songs like over and over again, which is and I'm not even going to say you can do that in commercial radio because people aren't stupid. That's why people are mass exiting away from radio and listening to podcasts and Spotify. Yeah. But like when you're playing classic songs, but it's like the same 7 to 15 classic songs, and you're not like thinking outside of the box and be like, yo, what if we played a deep album cut that was good? Or what if we played a new song from this classic artist? Because some of them artists were still making music. Like, yo, this keeps that format fresh.
Right.
Because how many times can you go, oh, snap, when Rump Shaker comes on?
Right.
By day 4, you over it. So it's they need to let people who really care about the culture and not about, because like research, like you do have to do some level of research, but you also have to do things from the heart, and you got to use your gut. And I think a lot of times people forget how to use their gut. But if people who use their gut program some of these stations, and artists felt like, oh, if I make a song, it could end up on this adult contemporary hip hop station, hell yeah, let's go. Because there's so many artists that get lost in the cracks because they fall between that line of you're too old for the younger station, but too young sounding for like a classic R&B station. There needs to be an alternative. And I feel like on those throwback hip hop stations, that's where you can do it. Only person I've seen do it right is LL Cool J with Rock the Bells. Like, he plays the classics, he plays the album cuts, and he plays new songs from classic artists, giving them a lifeline and a reason to continue to create.
It makes sense. No, L has definitely got it figured out. All right, second to last one here, sir, and we're going to go ahead and let you do what you do so you can get back on the streets and make history. Trouble Don't Last Always. I think is that kind of the latest one and single right now?
It's the latest song. Yeah, latest song I did a video for.
Okay, for the video. And the video is amazing.
Thank you, bro.
Tell me about this one as well, because I want to clarify. As I listened to the lyrics, and of course, as I looked at the video, it seems like it's your story. I mean, all of them are your story, your experiences, but this one specifically, it seems to tell your story, of LJ and everything else in terms of coming up or whatever. Talk a little bit about that in terms of, why you decided to kind of put that into this particular song and how you kind of did the video the way you did as well.
Got you. So with Trouble Don't Last Always, I wanted to paint a couple of different pictures all in one canvas, right? The one picture is like, a lot of us, we from the mud, I started from the bottom type stuff. And some people feel like they can never get out of that trap, right? So first verse is about like me looking around and watching everybody around me thrive and do well. Cause before I moved to Atlanta, I lived in Dallas. I'm also, originally from New York. But in my Dallas days, in which that song is 100% about my Dallas era life, like I'm around like groups like Mad Flavor, who, like, if you don't know, Mad Flavor consists of a guy named Hype Dog, K-Son, the Don, Cole, Chris. I meet Erykah Badu when she was still Apples. And then within 2.5 years, boom, she takes off and changes the world. So feeling so ashamed, couple dollars to my name, niggas stunting all around me, new rings and shiny chains. Like damn, man, where's my opportunity gonna come? But then it came in the form of radio. It didn't come the way I thought it was gonna come immediately with the music, but then it came. So, the downtrodden space I was in, it didn't last forever, because when the radio thing came, oh my God, not only do I now have some light on me, but I have the power to shed light on other people. Because to me, that's always been the true measure of success. If you could become successful yourself, great. But when you're so successful that just by you doing something small, like playing somebody's song, can now add fuel to their flame, that's the real power. You know what I mean? Like, to have power just for yourself, that's selfish. But to be able to light other people, so I felt like I made it. And I'm just doing 6 to 10 at nights now. But you couldn't tell me that I didn't make it. My grandmother's happy for me. My grandmother was happy for me when I worked at Motown. But now I'm on the radio, like, oh, my grandma's happy. Like, and people got to see me, like, do certain things before they passed away, so that meant a lot to me. Fast forward, now I have my first child, LJ, and me and his mom, I was young and immature. She was young too, and we just butted heads a lot, and we went our separate ways. But I felt like, hey, I think I could truly provide a life for him that I don't think you could provide, and not taking anything away from her as a mother, because she's a phenomenal mother who went on to raise like 3 phenomenal daughters as well. And but I was like, yo, I got LJ, you know what I'm saying? And we had to go to court and fight for it, and it hurt, because like I hate that we as people sometimes can't just have a civil conversation and figure it out. And we're great friends now, by the way, me and LJ's mom. Mm-hmm. But there's a lot of fathers out there that feel like I don't stand a chance in court, or like if my baby mother won't take the baby, I guess I gotta just take it. And you don't. You don't have to take it. You can fight for it and you can win. So that was a trouble that I was going through that didn't last. And LJ became a phenomenal kid who got a full ride scholarship to college and is killing it. This dude got more views on social media than I do. He's killing it. I'm proud of that guy. And then the third verse is just a celebration of it all worked out. All the grinding, all the keeping my head down and making sure that I was every place I needed to be. It all worked out. So that just hopefully gives people hope in their struggles. Because I think far and large, things usually go better for us more than it doesn't. And we have the tendency to focus so hard on the one thing that didn't go right. And it's like, oh man, my life is over. There's so many people who killed themselves over a bad day. A bad day. A bad day versus a great life. you gotta sometimes slow down and just put it on a scale. That's why like MikroDose is about meditating, breathing, taking time, creating silence so you can live within and really think things through and don't let those intrusive thoughts outwin the positive ones. So hopefully these songs help somebody.
That's it right there. MikroDose. Make sure y'all go stream that from wherever, my man say, wherever you're stealing your music from at this particular point in time in terms of that. Make sure you grab his previous projects, of course, Action Park and many others. We would be here forever trying to name all of those. More importantly, make sure you check him out on Dish Nation.
Yeah.
I think five days a week.
5
and of course,
days a week.
Side Dish as well.
Dish. And if you like game shows, I'm the announcer for season 3 of Pictionary, hosted by Jerry O'Connell. And I'm also, you'll see me on a few episodes this year of 25 Words or Less, being a celebrity team captain. And hopefully, yeah, like I got a game show that 2 game shows I'm developing right now. And hopefully I can use those game shows to fund people's dreams. Because that was the end game for me coming into the business. I wanted to do this, this, and this, and I wanted to end my life, not end my life, but I wanted to end everything on my Bob Barker tip. You know, where like you create an opportunity for people to come on down and get to the money. So that's where the train stops.
That's what's up. Well, definitely, man. I appreciate you coming by.
Appreciate y'all.
You're good people. MikroDose. Let's get it.
Peace.